What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's your girl, the MariJayneMaven. I am so happy to be back. It's been a long time, guys. It's been like 2 months, but a mid-season break was needed. I did need to focus on the other podcasts I have, and I got to shout those out. The Boondocks, which I also have to shout out that I just received my very first own custom piece of merchandise. I have my own pop vinyl now, or like my baby likes to call it, Funko Pop. So I will share that. It's in the mail, so I'll share that as soon as it comes in. This fantastic artist, I guess you would call him. His name is Dennis, and I don't want to mess up his last name. I do believe it's like Dalgan. If I'm incorrect, please forgive me, Dennis. But he's super talented. He's done a lot of custom pop vinyls, and he did one for the entire Boondocks cast, as well as the ladies and the queens of Woodcrest, which of course would be myself and my two co-hosts. So I did want to give a shout out about that, and of course share something that's been happening since I've been gone. Um, I have also been focusing on school. I hate the classes that I've been in lately, guys. Just like before, I wait to the very last minute. I passed one class by doing 3.5 weeks of work in one night and got an A from an F. Fire. Now, this one that I'm in right now that has to do with U.S. government, we know how I feel about it, and the lies, the blatant lies that we've been taught. So it's been a little bit harder for me to pass this one. But yeah, so focusing on that, into the school year, my babies are now in fifth grade and eighth grade. The hubby is being fantastic as always, producing the shows, teaching summer school, and coaching basketball. And then plus, we spend a lot of time at the resort since it's a resort season. So our campsite resort is now open again, and I've been spending some time there. So just a little bit of me time, but I'm back because I've missed all of you. We have a awesome, 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 very special guest, and I am going to sound a little bit of a fangirl tonight. And it's with good reason. I've been following her for shit, probably 3, 4 years. We actually worked together at a photo shoot. I just remembered. I just remembered when I made a little marketing. I was like, oh shit, that's right. She was there. We were in the same
We
photo.
was a
Yeah,
little turn.
yeah, photo shoot, photo ad. And it's one that you guys may have seen. It's me smoking, where I'm just like um, breakfast at Tiffany's. It was the revision of what an old classic was. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So before I get to start talking to my guest host here, and you guys have no idea who it is, let me introduce Sacramento's own, somebody who I think is really setting the game, especially in Sacramento, for being a model, a cannabis model, a brand ambassador, or I like to say educator, and also I don't like to say bud tender, but I like to say the in-store educators. I
Okay.
like that a little bit better. So everybody welcome our very, 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 very special guest co-host, Beka, or as many of you know I know, hubby, you got the applause going on? Okay. The hubby. He got a new little treat as well while we were on break. So yeah, so we have somebody here, like I said, that is definitely setting the stage for what it means to be a boss in cannabis and in a different way, not having to touch the plant, not having to be a grower or cultivator, but somebody who can set their own way and have a little bit of significance through education and being like a model, being an ambassador for brands, but being them on the visual side, not the educational and the visual side. So shout out here, guys. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm sitting with royalty. As I said, I've been following her for a while. So before we jump back into all of what is the Menage with Mary Jane, we have to start off by our quote. Things haven't changed there. So I'm going to go ahead and shop that out a little bit. A successful life is lived through understanding and pursuing one owns path, not chasing the dream of others. I thought that was super fitting because we are going to be having people that are representing the cannabis industry in different ways. Much like I'm a brand and educator. Shout out to Can, shout out to Trust Trees. But also, like I said, not doing anything that's actually touching the flower, which those of you that can, cultivators, I'm learning about oh my gosh, was it the ice hash, ice resin, ice coal? What? Didn't learn too much about it, but obviously because I forgot the name. But it's there you go. See, that's why I have him. So the better processes of having, concentrates. Learning about that. Actually also learning about how important it is to have live soil. I think a lot of people they say they prefer outdoors, outdoor grown, and then they go ahead and they buy a lot of indoor, because whatever is better for their pockets. But I'm also learning about just how beneficial live soil and growing an outdoor, cannabis is, and how you can get so much more from the plant by utilizing it that way. So, just some of the kind of things that I'm learning that I'm going to be able to pass on in my education, but not particularly that I would take probably and start growing, because if you guys see plants in my house, they don't last very long. So shout out to everybody that's joining us. Everybody that's going to be seeing this in the next couple of days, over the next week or so, when you guys realize that I'm back. And please, if you guys are watching live right now, go ahead and call in. The number is the same. We'd love to have you call in, or if you want to go ahead and just drop, a question in the chat, go ahead and do that as well. Hit me up on Instagram. I'll probably be one live in just a little bit here. But before we get started, you know what we got to do, So everybody, grab yours, your indica, your sativa, your hybrid, get your dab ready, which I'll tell you guys the story about my dabbing lately too. We were getting into it. We were doing so good. Someone goes to clean the nectar collector and completely breaks it. So sad. So yeah. Um, catching you guys up on my journey. Do you dab? Do you just mostly
Mostly flower now. I used to dab a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not my favorite. It's
Yeah.
not my favorite.
It wasn't hubby's either. I had to definitely talk him into it. He was like, I don't want to have to get the torch and this and that and all that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. But he liked the nectar collector. So we would dab mainly at night. So when it was like after we smoked our
Okay.
last blunt for the night, and it was like, all right, we want to lay down, but he would be very elevated. So then, well, I don't want to tell him myself, but I always had to make sure that I was standing up. After kids, and let's just say, gravity, you're coughing. Let's just put woman, coughing, baby together. I'll leave it the rest up to you. Okay. But I would be lit. We would want to eat. I've become addicted to sweet tarts, the large, chewy sweet tarts, by the way. Anybody wants to send me anything?
The sweet tart ropes are my favorite.
They're so good.
The fucking ropes are where it's
Those
at.
are so good. so good. Up more, Daddy. Okay. Put my lips on it. Oh, you mean move it up. Gotcha. I got it. Slow. Sorry, I was thinking my mind was somewhere else. So was it quite calculating what you were saying? There you go. Better? There we go. Can you guys hear me better? Yes. Okay. So tonight, but yes, so we were talking about dabbing. We didn't get the munchies, like I said, talking about the sweet tarts, fire.
Mm-hmm.
He's on what are they? Starburst? Chewy Starburst? We I'm pretty sure 7-Eleven across the street from us puts in the orders just strictly for us. I get mad when the box is empty and I can't have my sweet tarts. It's so bad. But blame that on dabs as well. But dab it up, get a little munchies, have some grown folks time, and then I'm watching American Dad. Perfect ending for the night. Perfect. But today, what we're gonna be loving is pink rosé. I like a little pink rosé. It's nice and uplifting. I think it's perfect for the conversation we're gonna be having this evening. So everybody else, get lit. Let's go and let's jump right into it. Chapo. So speaking of different strains, there has been some time in the past couple of months where we have not been able to visit Chapo. And we've had to resort to storefronts. Nothing against storefronts. You guys know I love working in them. You guys know I love the people. But the prices sometimes are not where I want to be. But thank you to Main Stage. Shout out Main Stage right here out in Sacramento on Broadway. And also, where if you ever guys want to go and meet the beautiful Beka and not make it seem like you're being stalkerish, but like, oh wait, did I see you on the podcast? That's where you can see her as well. So a couple of strains that thanks to them, we've been introduced to. I told you guys last time we were on actually about the Ball Farms, where I purchased my first Ball Farms. Here you go. Was through Main Stage. It was the Daniel LaRusso fire. I do want to try the Shonuff and the Laura Charles still. Whoa. I do want to try that one still. But a couple of the strains that we have been introduced to, thank you to the very fabulous and educational staff there at Main Stage, is Big Trees. Big Trees is really good. It's affordable, guys. I would say that it's more of a upper mid shelf. Like it's not quite top shelf because of the pricing. I would say, like we got to be honest. What dictates top shelf is the pricing, and they're not quite top shelf, but they are. I would say mid top shelf. Um, all their strains, if I remember correctly, they range between like 25 and 30%, maybe a little bit above that. I think my most favorite strain with them would probably be the applesauce. There's like a strain that has some it's applesauce something. Yeah, that one. I'm pretty sure it's it's called applesauce. But we'll just ask Auntie Google real quick. But that's a good one. I like them. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about them, so I don't know where they're actually from. If they're here in California, which I would assume they probably are. But really good. Read it, and actually, I think I have a package upstairs, so I'm not gonna run upstairs and get it now. But it's a red and white package, and it has a tree on it. And here we go. So Big Tree Industries. Here we go, right here. So it has a red tree on it, and the red tree is on top of earth. And it's in red and white writing, like I said. Just give me a few moments here, and we're gonna pull this right up because I know it's called something apple sauce. So yes, so I like them a lot. So I've paid an average of, depending on where you go, I've paid as low as 20 to about 30 for an eighth. And really good buds. It breaks down really good. It lasts a while. An eighth for us does not last very long. And this is one that we've taken camping. And when we go camping, we're rolling up constantly. So, and it's lasted us, it's lasted a couple of days. So I will say that I think the product is very good that they have. So on their website, it does not have their strains listed, but like I said, it's something applesauce. Trust and believe. I knew that. I do know that. So shout out to Big Tree. I do like them. And Josh D and their Motor Breath. And I do have that here. Another very good strain here. This one I think was a little bit lower, I think, on the THC, which
it's like 18%.
Yeah. 18. I think this one, the Motor Breath, I think was 21, close to 22 on this one. But really good. And as we all know, and I've talked about, THC percentage doesn't mean you're going to get higher. Sometimes you can get lit on 15%. Depending on your experience. I'm somebody who, I'm smoked a lot in my life. So it does take some time for you to get off of the higher strains. Maybe get on one that's a little lower THC. Maybe have one that's a little bit higher CBD, because then you're kind of like, I don't want to say reprogramming your body, but it does allow you to have a different high the next time you smoke some that's like fire. The kind that you smell outside the package. That's the one that the next time you smoke, you're gonna get that. Not that very first time litation, I like to call that we all had. I remember my very first time, but close to it. So very good. You get the wellness out of it. I know that I was having a little bit of issues with my MS. I was having some tingling, and I know that Motor Breath definitely helped. So shout out to those two brands. What is your favorite strain, or what's your favorite strain, and what is your favorite brand, or one of your favorite brands to smoke right now?
Shit, okay. Well, favorite brands for sure. I gotta shout out the homies at Lumpy's and also the homies at Pigeon Racer Farm. That's two local Sacramento companies. Super good. I'd probably say my favorite strain would be Banana OG.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's my shit.
I've had some of that. I've had some of that a lot. So my thing was always like, I can't fuck with OGs because they put me out. Like I'm usually just stuck. But lately, if I noticed they're more of a hybrid OG, not so, and it's then
this one for me at least is definitely like more euphoric, like a good mood without
without this point. Yeah. And anything to me, I know you guys have said this before, banana is my shit. Banana flavor, anything.
Yeah,
Banana
yeah.
pudding, banana ice cream, like
Yeah.
chocolate dip banana, like any banana daiquiris, which I can't even tell you the last time I had it, but anything flavored banana. And you get the terps of bananas out of the really good strains, or and especially the producers that are really understand the benefit of using the terps and the natural juice juices. I'm saying not natural oils. Now I'm not saying that there's a terp that's straight banana flavor, but it's very, I don't know, it's the silkiness. I don't know, it's the
That was a good
calmness. It's
one.
the yeah, it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's like you don't get the flavor, like you don't smoke it and go, ooh, like you're smoking a King Palm or something, like, and you
Mhm.
got the banana flavor out of it. But it's very, I don't know the word to use to describe kind of like that banana-y essence. That's what I'll say. It's the essence of bananas. That's what I'll say. And a lot of the good strains that I've had. But that is a very good one. That's a good one. So probably for me, what would be my favorite strain as of late? Um, God damn, would probably be anything with super red hairs. And I never used to be like, I always was about the crystal, the purple, but anything with super red hairs lately, it's been
Doing
doing
it
it. Yeah,
for you?
it's been doing it for me. So any of those. I just shouted out a couple of the brands that I like. Oh, and I will give a shout out to Dime Bag lately too, because Dime Bag used to be one of my favorites, and then it wasn't. But they are very quickly changing that. I don't know what you guys have done lately, but shout out to Dime Bag. Shout out. Very good. And Old Pal. I'm gonna give a little bit to Old Pal too. Old Pal's trying to come up a little bit in theirs as well. So those are a couple of the ones that I'll shout out there. So before we get down to why my beautiful guest co-host is here, and I'll get into my little bit of standing that I'm gonna do. I do want to give a shout out to, of course, my slap of the week. Um, you guys should not be surprised. I feel like if we go back over the past half a year to year, he's probably been my slap of the week more often than not. So it's the baby. All if I want to. You know me and the baby. Just you know me and the baby. Me and the baby. I don't know. So his BET performance, which is going to lead into my next topic here. I don't know if you saw it. I'm not a big BET award show watcher. I don't really watch BET, but thank you to YouTube because I was able to see all the performances just off of YouTube.
Oh, okay. That's
If
cool,
you
that's
have it,
cool.
yeah, if you guys have it, that's the best way for you to. That's the best way for you to like check it out. Is to go on, and if you not don't want to watch the whole show, the baby did a performance where he did this song, and it was the video but live. And I want to give it to him because he did not lip sync. He did rap, but he was just a little bit ahead of his track, just a tad bit. So I'm sure when he got off stage, probably fired somebody or made sure that somebody got fired because he was just a little bit ahead, but it was still a good performance. Whoever the choreographer is for this video or for this song, fire. Okay. I don't know if it's Sacramento's own Kaida again, because I know he had something to do with Bop. That's it, Kaida. Kita. Sorry. I like Kita. Rename the boy. Shout out. I'm a big fan of you as well. But I don't know if he had anything to do with it. But whoever did, great choreography again. So he did a great performance. Kirk Franklin, Lil Baby, and Just Blaze, they all have a song together, or Just Blaze, he produced a track. Would never ever think to say Little Baby and Kirk Franklin together on the track. But it was good. It shows why Kirk Franklin is still relevant as a gospel artist. Why he's still relevant. He has crossover appeal all these years later. Great performance as well. So shout out there. But the best one, and the one that I wanted to, give so many kudos to BET for, and you guys did it right, was a tribute to DMX. Rest in peace, X. I think the last time that I was on air, we were talking about him just being ill, and how I said I was 1,000% sure he was going to come out of it because it's DMX, and he had a calling on his life. Unfortunately, we know that wasn't the outcome. Um, this event this week was the first time, and over the last couple of days was the first time in a month or so since he's passed that I've listened to any of his, music or anything like that. It was just hard, like Pac was big. Pac was a big loss for me, and I think that DMX is also a big loss. I know you're into music. Is there anybody that we've unfortunately lost that was a that you took it hard or you feel like it's a big loss? Yeah, yeah. Well, of course. Oh yeah, of course, Mac Dre. Because if he was still alive, we would still be thizzing out and doing like having like yeah, for real, for real, for real. That huge representation, especially for Northern Cali. I like definitely Mac Dre was a hard one. I have very good friends who are actually family with Mac Dre, and you know, so we got a little bit more of the insight about what happened and how it happened and shit like that, and some of the after effects of him passing, you know, from the real sources. So it's really sad that even to this day, he has an effect on everybody and on music. And I hate when other or other states and other artists don't give credit where credit's due. Like you're doing Mac Dre for 2021. You know what I'm saying? Like go ahead and pay homage where it should be paid. I'd say another one, and I really have gotten into him over the last year and a half, especially during Corona, is Mac Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Told you guys that his song Self Care is like my shit. Um, that's somebody that very, very talented. And the more and more I listen to his music, I'm like, damn, like we lost somebody else that was just so beneficial and so fire to music. But yes, DMX, I think we all have a DMX song that we can relate to, that we can recite. We have all have an image or a special just memory that we can share. And I can't say that anybody can say that a lot of any of them would be negative or bad. He had such a kind heart and had such a powerful, presence. So once again, RIP to him, but they did a great tribute. If you guys haven't seen it, please, please, please go check it out. The Locks, I think it was the Locks, Swiss Beats, Busta Rhymes. I can't remember else. It was a lot of people that were up there, but they started off with Omar from The Wire, who, he needs to play. But, oh, don't do that. Sorry, clean off the ash. I can just leave it there. Producer shaking his head at me. Sorry, guys, if you heard that. My bad. So, Omar from The Wire, he came out and he was dressed in, and the wife beater, the X chain, the camo pants and the boots. And he basically just completely murdered a verse and did it so well. Then there was a performance of, just like a mashup of a couple of his songs. And then they, lowered the lights, all of the screens behind all of the artists lit up with just these beautiful, huge black and white images of DMX. And it was one of his powerful, prayers that he used to do. And that ended it. And it was touching and it was fitting. And I want to give all kudos to BET and to anybody that had to do with that performance. It was a great tribute. So shout out to them. I don't give BET a shout out too much unless it's Martin Marathon, and we can find Martin on anything nowadays. So we're going to go ahead and jump into, because I made a promise that I'm going to keep this episode below 2 hours, below an hour. We're going to maybe about that. So the whole purpose of my guests being here, like I said, I remember following and just kind of going through Instagram. I don't remember how exactly I found your Instagram, but I think it was through somebody saying that they were working with you. And I was like, well, let me see who this is. And I was like, wow, okay, this girl's bad. This fire that comes from her, this confidence that comes from her. And I'm like, and she's doing it right. And you were doing it right at the beginning of basically everything becoming, legal with cannabis.
Right.
Everybody looking at it a different way. So for any cannabis business or brand, that advertising is just now starting to change, where we have a little bit different options to how to advertise. But back then it was having a brand ambassador, having a model that was going to be able to create this buzz for you by the work that she provided. So how did you start? I know, was it always just modeling? Was it just specifically cannabis modeling? Tell us a little bit about it.
No, it was definitely just modeling. Out of high school, in high school and out of high school, I had a best friend that was an extremely good photographer and kind of pushed me to do it because, like, I'm really mad shy. I was mad shy back then, mad shy now.
When I was first time I actually met her, was talking to her, I was like, what? You and she definitely is. You, and if you guys see the images of any of the, like, what I put together, the marketing, and just I don't think maybe you have any links to them to show, but I'll probably share them a little bit. But you don't portray that at all when
That's
you're
cool.
modeling. Yeah, and that doesn't come across at all. You come across so confident. You're beautiful. You're just you're emoting emotions that fit the brand or fit, fit the idea of the, at least to me, I can look at it and I get the image of what the theme of the photo shoot was supposed to be or what the brand's message is. So
Okay.
you do a great job with that. But yeah. So you kind of got into it. And you went to high school here. You're from the area?
Sacramento,
From
yeah.
Sacramento? Okay.
Yeah, so it was just
Ceviche,
like my
y'all.
homie that was a really good photographer. He pushed me and I was like, "Let me shoot you. Let me shoot you. Let me shoot
Yeah.
you." Um, and so we did, and it was tight. I was like, "Oh shit." Like that,
Starting to
that's
charge up?
fucking dope.
That me, yeah.
And then I like, quickly realized that like people will pay you for that. So shit, even doper. And I really like the creative aspect of it as well.
Yeah. There's been some great, I mean, I will definitely give the credit to all of the photographers for, some of the images that I got from your portfolio, but there are some great makeup artists. There are some great, I mean, just set designers. There's some fantastic, clothing designers, out there, because some of these are just breathtaking. And you can tell that it's not just a fly by night thing. It's not just like, hey, you want to record or you want to take these pictures for me. There's a lot of creativity behind every shot, and that's what I love too. So there's definitely a lot of creativity involved. So you've gone from, I mean, how long have you been doing this? When did you graduate?
We ain't gonna say that.
She's hell yeah. I would say when I graduated. Mine's been decades now, but yeah. So a few years.
I mean, for a
years
minute,
ago.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So you've been modeling. What would you say, about like 10 years? About that, or
no,
less?
probably like 6 years.
Okay,
yeah.
So a good amount of time. And do you find that it's continuing to grow for you? Are you like starting to hit any obstacles? Is there anything that you want to, that you would like to change about the way that your career is going right now, or do you feel pretty successful?
No, I'm cool. I think I'm pretty cool. I think I'm pretty set.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, you're doing a really good job. So how often are you shooting per month, or?
Well, I've been trying to slow down. I've honestly been trying to slow down because I just like go till I
Yeah.
drop. It was probably like once or twice a week.
Nice. Yeah,
Now
that's
I'm
a lot.
trying to just keep it to like a couple of times a month.
Yeah.
And, really try and do more quality over quantity.
There you go. Yeah, because that's what's gonna last, and that's what's gonna get you somewhere that you're not. One day someone's gonna call you that you're like, wait a minute, did you mean to call me? Type of thing. And I don't think people really realize I've done modeling for boudoir shoots, and like I said, we were in the same photo shoot back in the day. And it's a lot of work on your body. Like it's not
for sure.
like your back hurts, you're like, because you're holding positions and positions that your body's not supposed to hold for a long time. So if you're doing that twice a week, were you finding a lot of kind of just wear and tear on your body, or is it just more?
Yeah, and just not like putting shit out exactly the way that I wanted it to be put out, because I'm just scrambling trying to do one thing, move into the next. But yeah, wear and tear on the body too, for sure.
Yeah, it's no joke, you guys. So when you wonder why people get paid millions and billions of dollars, or not billions, but why these models get paid millions of dollars, for example, look, Kendall Jenner, not an unattractive person. I don't get it. While she's like one of the highest paid models, I don't. I'm just being honest. But she gets paid what she gets paid. One, because where she comes from, but two, it's not easy. It's so not easy standing in that one position, with your leg up on the edge of a freaking cliff, so that they can get this one shot and get it when the sunlight's hitting you in the right way.
It's damn near like if you're doing a wall sit.
Yeah.
Like the feeling you get when you're doing a wall sit for like 30 minutes
Yeah.
or 30 seconds,
Yes.
a minute, 2 minutes.
Yeah. And then you're sweating, and then and then they want to act like you can control certain just normal things like sweating, or
Right.
your legs starting to shake because you've been in that position for so long. That's not what they want to see. So you have to kind of push through it. So it's not easy. It's definitely worth what you're getting. Are you with an agency? Do you do this all of your, on your own? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I like that even better. Boss right there. Why pay somebody? If you can do it on your own, and especially in in the cannabis industry, even though you definitely can do out, and I'm sure have done outside of cannabis. Especially in the cannabis industry, though, you can really make your own way without having to have somebody else in your pocket.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's so awesome. So you are also, like I said, an educator at Main Stage. How have you always worked within cannabis outside of modeling? Is this all of your jobs, or?
Yeah.
Why not?
Either illegally or legally, but yeah, it's all been for the most part
Yeah.
cannabis.
And how does your family support that? I know that you
Oh
are,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for
that's see, that's
sure.
awesome. I know that, and I'm not trying to put your business out there, but your ethnicity is not one where you would think most very, very, I don't want to say they're not really, they just really believe in being proud and doing something that is a respectable career,
Mhm.
or something more like a doctor and a lawyer and something like that. So
Mhm.
I don't believe in any look, believe in any culture, basically any ethnicity that has any kind of melanin in it or anything that has any kind of culture. You have, you meet those same kind of obstacles where you have parents or grandparents or somebody that's going to think that being involved in cannabis is going to get you right directly to jail, straight go to jail. So that your family is supportive, that's fantastic. And was it something that was always open? Like you were like, hey, I'm
I
working here,
mean,
I'm doing this, I smoke this, I
I
do
ain't trying
that.
to put my dad on blast,
No,
but
no,
like
okay,
it's been in the family
okay.
for sure.
Smoke that. No, I got you. So that's a huge part too. My oldest son, he's 23. His father, you know, his father's father. That's how I first started smoking. Not putting him on blast either. I don't know if a lot of people be able to make the connection, but used to grow some fire,
Mhm.
and so I always kind of knew with my son being 23, it was never a surprise once he turned 18. Even before that, not a surprise to me that he smoked or that he actually could probably grow some fire. That he's very involved and he understands, the cannabinoids and the terps and things like that. So I say this to say, and I think it's going to become much more prevalent and much more of a regular thing for people to realize you can raise children within a house that is involved in cannabis in whatever, manner,
Mhm.
whether it's they smoke it at home, they cook with it, they grow it, it's their business or whatever. You can still raise children that are integral, respectable, productive parts of society.
Mhm.
And somebody that's actually setting the stage in an area like the City of Trees, because I can't think of anybody else that's doing what you're doing or that who's done what you've done over the past 6 years, coming from SAC. Uh-oh, producer. Let's see. I can't brush off ashes, but his phone can start. I wish you guys could see him. So yes, love you too. So, if you had any advice to give to anybody who is interested in wanting to become a model, and if they specifically want to focus on being a cannabis brand model, what would you, any advice that you would like to give to them, especially in Sacramento?
Um, I guess like number one would just be like don't be influenced into doing anything that you don't want to do.
Mhm.
Like you can totally have complete control over what you're doing at
Yeah.
your shoots, over what's going on, and don't do anything that makes you uncomfortable. And yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that'd be point number one.
I was going to ask if there ever been any hard no's. Have you ever been because this is an industry where, especially if you're doing it locally,
Mhm.
you have people that think and trying to portray themselves as real cannabis brands, and they're not. They're the homies that got together, and they're able to throw some money together, and then they want to go ahead and try to push this, this image upon you, or they want you to like, they want to act like they have so much to be able to provide to you, and it's like, dude, you're local because you throw an event every Sunday. Like that doesn't make you, big time. And no, I'm not gonna get into your shot and show my titties and just
Mhm.
show, have two of your freaking buds right here.
Mhm. Mhm.
Have you ever? Because I've been approached like that through, especially through Instagram and growing my brand. I've been approached many times, and I'm like, come on, like, I'm not.
Right.
That's a hard no. Like that's a hard pass. That's not where I want to go. So, have you ever been, approached like that, especially being a woman?
I don't think like so much with cannabis brands, but there's definitely been just regular photo shoots, and nah, I'll walk out.
Good.
I'll walk out. You gonna be
Yeah, 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 right, and say exactly that, right?
fucked
Yeah, yeah,
up.
and I like that. Like, and look, don't play. Like I said, I'm sure the background of your family too. They don't want a couple of your uncles or cousins or anything coming to visit. Okay, but yeah. So I know that when I first started following you, you were like you shouted out Lumpies, and
Mhm.
is that somebody like a family for you? If I remember, like you guys
Oh,
were
for
doing
sure, yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
stuff together, and so do you work with them on doing a lot of
I
their?
did work for them actually for
Okay,
a little bit, but no, it's just the homies, a
yeah,
lot of the main stage crew, a lot of the old spot that I was at, Lumpies, a lot of the local companies, it's family for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So were you back? We were talking about how back in the day with the storefronts, when you used to go in and there was like, I mean, no regulations. Like you used to be
Mhm.
able to go in there. I remember I went into one. It was in Natomas. I'm not gonna say who, but I used to go in for an eighth and easily walk out with like a half. Because this was a time when you could just like there was no
Mhm.
pre-weighed anything. Like nothing had to be in their own package. Like pretty much they were just taking it out of a jar or whatever
Yeah.
they had. And yeah, oh, you could touch it, you could smell it back
Yeah.
then. Like, were you in the stores and back then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So you've seen the growth and the changes that have gone from where it was somewhat
Medical
legal.
to
Yeah, just
rec,
medical,
yep.
exactly. Yeah,
Medical
that's
to
what it's supposed to
rec.
be, medical, right? Medical. I can't tell you how I got my medical card the first time. Like this dude, he reminded me of Doc from Back to the Future. Like, ooh, it's crazy. But he gave me my first card. But so do you see the benefit in how it is now? How it's more regulated? Do you see the benefit versus then?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There are definitely benefits, and then there are definitely cons.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely more of a like a job now. I mean, especially
Yeah,
when you go in
yeah.
and that's the tough thing. You're not able to smell it. People always want to. There's always somebody that comes in and goes, "Oh, I was just at a dispensary." No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And if you were, that will be shut down next week. But there's always somebody, a customer that comes in. Oh, I could smell it. I could touch it. No, it's
Well,
okay. It's I,
so we pretty cool, like, you can smell it. You can
yeah,
smell our not because not during COVID, but, if we were not dealing with
yeah,
that,
yeah,
you would be able to smell it. No touching it 'cause, people are gonna squeeze the shit out of the buds, but,
yeah.
you gotta smell
Yeah, yeah, I hate that shit.
it.
Yeah, I hate that. I do like there's and I know I think a lot of changes had to happen because of COVID, but a lot of places will have it in the containers that you can open the top and you can smell it,
Mhm,
but it's still within a container where it doesn't lose,
mhm.
um, doesn't lose the moisture, it doesn't lose the color and things like that. Um, but it's just so funny that, and I know I kind of jumped and I'm gonna go back to your modeling and like being a brand educator, like I say, we're in-store educator. Um, it's always funny to me the demands that customers will put on you. So I guess this is kind of back into the in-store. Are there any demands or any, I'll say, what is your number one to do and your number one don't do as a customer coming into this and coming into the storefront?
Number 1 to do.
Yes.
Be nice to your bartender.
Okay. Simple. Plain and simple, right? Plain and
Be
simple.
nice to your bartender.
Yes, yes. Those
Um
tip jars, you can. You can throw a little bit in there. Nobody's saying $10, $15, but especially main stage, I tend to, put some of my change in there. Especially when you are dealing with somebody that's super nice. And I will say main
Mhm.
stage, very nice. Probably one of the most um just I'm not saying it's just because she works there because it's fine. Honestly, and because I'm a customer there, but honestly, one of the most from the security all the way in. Everybody's always very kind. They help you out. You can ask any question. I've heard people in there asking what I would consider to be the dumbest questions, and they just go ahead and take it with a grain of salt and help that customer out. So I will, be nice to them because they deserve it. They're be reciprocal, and with the energy that you're getting,
Mhm.
and they're always getting energy there. So yes, so always be nice. Be nice. Yes. And what is the number one? Please don't. Other than being an asshole.
Um, Probably don't come in too high. That's a big one. Because we want you to get what you want.
Hmm.
We want it to be a pleasant experience for you. Um, and yeah, kind of have an idea what you want when you
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
in for sure.
Yes, yes. You guys, there's weed maps. There are
Oh yeah.
the
Mhm.
website to the store. Like you can find out beforehand what they have, and if not, stand back in line. Like stand at the beginning of the line and look at the boards. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a line, you'll have time while you're in line to look at the boards. At least have an idea. Say I like indicas. I
Right,
know that I
exactly.
want.
That perfect.
Yeah, I know I want to stay. And this is what I say. Look, this is how much I
Price
have.
range.
I came in the
Mhm.
other day just to get a pre roll, meet someone on lunch, and I only had a certain amount on. And one of the guys goes, "Oh, you have points that you can use." And I was like, "What?
Mhm.
I didn't even know that." I was like, "I do." He's like, "Yeah, let's get this down. How much you got?" Like, this is how much He goes, "I mean, I got you." Pulled out two of the really good. I was very impressed with the pre rolls that he suggested because they weren't. I know a couple of the ones that I'd be like, put the shit away. Don't even offer me that. But he went right, at my level, and made sure that I was able to walk out of there. And I actually had change, which I then tipped, but made sure it was within my budget of what I had. And all I had to do was verbalize it, not go in there and play games or, have him pull out every damn pre-roll. That's what I told him. He helped me out, used
Mhm.
points, which, like I said, didn't even realize I had, which is another good thing about there. Other places, they probably wouldn't recommend that. To be able to say, well, let's get you what you need.
Mhm.
You have points to bring that price down. And it was happy hour,
Mhm.
which I like too. So shout out, go to happy hour at main stage. So when they come in high, it makes your job harder. It makes their
Mhm.
experience a little less pleasant. And then everybody else that's in line behind you is like, really? That's like going into McDonald's high and not knowing what you want.
Mhm.
Come on. You're there for McDonald's. So you're there for weed. Let's get it. Want edibles? You want to drink? What is it? Let them know, and they'll be able to help you out. They're the educators. So fantastic. I love that you've made your own way. And see, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that you weren't with anybody. You're not with somebody who's booking everything for you. So this is like people reaching out, or do you do your own kind of canvassing and then say, I would love to represent your brand when you're doing the modeling? And this is for any any industry that you've done.
Oh, for sure, both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that takes some hustle. So I like that. You guys, this is what you have to have. So if you want to be able to make your way and do it on your own, you have to have the hustle. You have to have the know-how. And I'm sure when you jumped into it, you didn't know a lot. So you
No,
learned
not
as
at
you went
all.
along.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you ever be willing if anybody said, I would love to talk to her and just get a little bit of mentoring? Is that something that you've ever thought about doing? Because you do have such a good following and you do have a good story to tell.
No, I
Um,
haven't really thought about that. Like, I try, if somebody hits me up on Instagram, to do my best, to answer,
mhm.
give you some type of something. But no, I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah, you should. We can know, girl. This is where my mind works. Because I'm already like, oh, you know what you could do. No, and I think it would be huge and beneficial. You have to remember right now, everybody has a specialty. Everybody's a master at something. And when you advertise yourself as such, people kind of fall in line. Everybody's always looking for how they are going to get into something.
Mhm.
So when you make it easy, like a master class, let's do this, let's do that. I'm telling you, we're about to bring her back and talking about what her master class is going to be. No, so that is something that I think it would be really beneficial. There are a couple of groups or organizations out there that tout themselves as cannabis-based modeling and influencing and events. Um, some of them are legit, some of them are not. So let's say that there is somebody, for example, that has fallen, not fallen within, but that was the only outlet that they found.
Mhm.
And so they found themselves doing a lot of like, early morning, early waking up in the morning. I woke up this fresh and I always sleep in a matching bra and panty suit. And now I'm going to go ahead and take a dab type of Instagram
Right.
influencers or modelers. What advice would you give to them to kind of get out of that image and to be able, or that role, and to be able to get into one that is a little bit more have a little bit more longevity to it and allow them to cross over other than just doing that kind of Instagram,
Mhm.
influencing post. Not that
Um,
anything's wrong with it. If that's what you do, great. Because there's some of you that have made your own way. But let's be honest, a good percentage of women that are doing that are not going to be able to get to where they want to go, unless they're able to kind of pivot. So, like I said, what would be your advice to them for them to be able to pivot and kind of get on the other path?
Probably just networking, hitting different companies up, going to different events, going out to different spots, getting out of the house and taking a
Yeah.
dive,
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just networking.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of networking events, especially in Sacramento. My networking events are going to be popping again soon. The Create and Elevate type of events we're going to be having. So I know that Crystal Nugs is doing. So she's growing her storefront. I know she mentioned something the other day about she's going to be doing events and networking and things like that. There's always, you guys just have to kind of look for them. But Eventbrite, Event High, Instagram. That's where you're going to find out about these events. Um, I know that I'm going to say something, but I wasn't. So there was somebody else that has, that have been having events recently as well. So, like I said, there's always some out there. You'll be able to find them. and just get in with the right people, and make sure that the people that you are in tune with or that you are relating with and that you're creating relationships with, they have the same kind of mindset and the same goals that you do.
Mhm.
And because if not, you're just going to be putting yourself on another path and putting yourself behind. So always keep that in mind as well. So yeah, so I think, I know that we did want to talk about, because we were talking about content creators, some of our favorite content creators, and you definitely had a couple that we wanted to, a couple people and of Waffle House, correct? That
Yeah,
we
for
wanted to
sure.
shout out. So why don't you share a little bit about them, and I'll make sure guys to have their like Instagram and information tagged into our videos and to our posts.
Yeah, so they're somebody that I've been working with lately, and their pictures are just the best. Like they're
Nice.
so good. They're so easy to work with. They're awesome. They give you great quality content. And that would be Phil Emerson and Miss Lee.
And- okay.
Hmm.
But okay. So yes, shout out to them. We need, especially within the cannabis industry, we're gonna need those individuals that normalize brands and influencers and models and anybody else, anybody that is within the art scene, singers, whatever. We're gonna need individuals that can normalize their imaging and normalize the industry together as a whole as much as possible. So having individuals that you can work with like that is a blessing. Um, Now I know that you mentioned as well what's in your bio that you've recently just this interest in music
Oh
has kind of
yeah.
come about through your creation. So is that something that you're working on as it comes, as opportunity comes? Are you writing your own music? What
Hmm.
exactly are you doing within that realm, which is my favorite, love music.
So yeah, it's something that I attempted like a long time ago, and it just didn't it didn't work out.
Okay.
And recently, one of my homies, Richard, hit me up. Was like really pushing me. Let me get you on a song. Let me get you on a song. Let me get you on a song. And yeah, signed me to a little contract. So
Nice.
if somebody's one has like the faith in me to do that, and
Mhm,
two is gonna pay me, like
mhm,
yeah, we
mhm.
gonna figure it we gonna figure it out real
You
quick.
see, I like that. Has the faith in her,
And it's
as
fun.
well pay you, right? See, this is somebody that knows her worth and adds text, and you guys have heard me say that before, and that's one of the
Hmm.
biggest things that I reach out to you is like, once you know your worth, you're not afraid to ask for what you want and to manifest what you want because you know that you deserve it. So I like that. I like that you're not afraid either, to just kind of venture out into different things and make your way, create your own path and create your own success, in life.
Hmm.
That's one of the reasons why probably when I first found your Instagram, I probably stalked it for like a good 2 weeks. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. You guys know I can't. It's hard for me to do that. But yeah, just ask hubby. I talked about her to hubby, especially when I found out. I was like, babe, guess what she is? Guess what she is? Like, oh my God. Like you could know family through her family and through family. No, but I just really admired what you were doing and that you were the first one. And like I said, in my opinion, somebody can come and correct me, but from my research and what I know, the first one to do it and to do it very successfully coming out of the city of trees. So that means something that I know means something to me because in this whole story of the cannabis industry and our story here in the city of trees, you're gonna have a chapter in that. Whether look at it like that or not, I know you see yourself just straight as a model, but if it were to come to fruition where you're doing other things or maybe you're helping others, you're going to have, like I said, a chapter in the creation of normalizing cannabis within Sacramento and in Northern California and kind of beyond that. Because I know you probably get a lot of creepers and a lot of people outside, just out of Sacramento, that are your fans or that follow you. So I know that you're making a larger impact than just right here. So I don't know if that's ever dawned on you, but I want you to know that, like, it's super important because there are lots of girls who probably look up to you and you don't even realize that. And what you're the stage that you're setting and how you can allow somebody to go to their parents and go, I'm not going to go to college, or I'm going to go ahead and leave. Well, why? Because I can make X, Y, and Z doing this, but it also makes me happy, you know, and have somebody that they can use as one of many people. Um, I know there's a couple others who I really look up to as well, people and women of color that are doing it as well. They do it more from the kind of influencer aspect. Lizzie, ooh, sorry, So I'm just looking her up really quickly. I'm looking her up really quickly because I don't want to mess up her name. But she is also a woman of color, but she also does really, really good at what she does as far as within the cannabis industry. So give me 1 second. Adam 22 says no cell phones because he just wants to be mean sometimes. Because what? Because I have to look things up. Well, I don't have somebody. I mean, if we had a big TV off to the side, I could be like, look her up right there, and then I wouldn't have to pull up my phone. Lizzie Jeff. That's what I thought. So Lizzie Jeff, if you guys don't know, follow her as well. She's also somebody like I said, kind of creating the way. She's so much more than just a cannabis model. She is a singer. She is a hostess, a CEO. She does a lot of inspirational women work, and she's a medicine woman. If you look at her Instagram, she's a public figure, can speak, and a medicine woman. But I know that she has done a lot of things within the art realm. So between you two, I think that you can be an inspiration that you may not even know that you are. So you should push the applause button here, babe. This is applause. I'll be on the lookout. So I'll be on the lookout for you to be able to, start creating within the music realm. I'll be, a little stand in that realm as well. I'll be the first one to shout out the new single. I better be at the video shoot. And anything else that you're doing, just always count on me to be able to share that. Like I said, I think you do have a platform where you can help other people. And you are a great example of what it is to do something else within the cannabis realm and then do something that's actually allowing you to be passionate about creating. So my last question is, have you always seen yourself as a creative person? Is it always?
Oh no.
No, really?
No, absolutely not.
So you're
Nah,
this
all I-
shy, non-creative person, but you come off as the complete opposite.
Younger, I'm like very different. I'm like calm down.
Oh, really? You're the rowdy one. You're probably like my 9-year-old, because my 9-year-old can't sit still. Like he's the one that he says what he means what he says, and he's always having to do something. But yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, what's your sign?
Oh, Pisces.
Pisces. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm an Aries. So okay, that's the energy that I feel. So and I also want to say, you guys, she has some dope ass tattoos.
Thank you.
I am a tattoo girl, and they are fantastic. Please go and follow her. We will have all of her information where you can find her. If you guys, she said she's open to answering any questions and helping out any way that she can. She also, like I said, has thousands, tens of thousands. Like you said, almost at 30, if I'm not mistaken, 1,000 followers. So if she doesn't get back to you right away, understand, because her DMs are probably like overflowing.
And don't think I'm a bitch because I don't answer. Okay, I don't like to look at that shit.
So that's part of it too. So remember that. You guys will probably be better like leaving a comment on one of her posts and being like, "Hey, something like that," than sliding in the DMs, because especially when you have such a large following, you get people that want you to represent their brand. You get all these like random, automatic robot type of messaging and shit like that. So just imagine what it's like. I mean, I have just a couple thousand. She has 20s plus thousand. So just imagine. So, but you guys heard it here. She is willing to help you. If you guys want to reach out to me to be able to get to her, I will make sure that connection, but don't be weird. Don't be a creeper. Because I'm not gonna do that. So I do want to thank you so much. This is something that when I first started my podcast, hubby can attest to this. And when I had a couple of other hosts, we were sitting around asking like, who in Sacramento did we want to be on the podcast? And you came up, and everybody, I know, I don't know, Blaze, my girl Blaze, she used to be on here. Blaze 916 is her group, is her name. So used to be our co-host. Lisi. She goes by Blaze 916. That's her business name. Yeah. So if some people may know her as Lisi. Okay. So Lisi B and myself, we were like, yes, let's definitely have her on. And I mean, like I said, was standing in that. I mean, in that meeting, I was like, she's so great. She does this, she does that. Like she's fire. She has this great energy. So, and that was a year and a half ago now, maybe almost 2 years. So
Mhm.
I'm so happy that we were brought together second time
Right,
because
right.
I don't know how I did not even realize that we were in the same photo shoot
Mhm.
for 710. You guys, that was fun. Yeah, that was. I remember actually standing up to the side, like say something to her. I was so like crazy stand. But and then we met again at a video shoot.
At John A.
Yes,
Lachey's.
at John A's. She
Cry
was
legs and
yes,
titties.
yes. I was like, we were driving up. I'd be like, oh, that's Beka. He's like, who else? Big Beka right there. And he's like, okay, get on the car. So and then we walked in together. And yes, so I'm so happy that this finally came together and that
Mhm.
you were able to be here. Like I said, I think that you are so much more inspirational than you probably give yourself credit for. Definitely go and check her out at Main Stage, guys. Don't be a creeper though. Like go in there to get help. You know, don't be weird. You see her Main Stage, and then you do represent and work with a couple others, like you said,
Yeah, Pigeon
Pigeon
Racer
Racer, and
Farms
Cad.
and CAD.
Yes. So a little brand education there. You guys keep an eye out for me because I've been out back again locally for Can and maybe more for Can hopefully in the near future. But Trust Trees, want to give a special shout out to one of my new favorite locations, which is Nug. And that's because the management is so awesome there. We did an event there about a month ago and I met some great people. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that was at that pop up event at Nug. I think it was like June 12th. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. It was so good to be back. And I feel like we had a great welcome back episode here. And we'll be back next week, guys. I'll have some more bullshit for you, have some more menaging with you. We'll talk about some more strains, talk about a little bit more about some more cannabis stuff. And we will see ya. So thank you to my special guest host. All right, guys. Night.